Time is something we often take for granted. We rush through our days, always looking forward to what's next. But how many of us stop to truly experience the present? We're so caught up in the idea of productivity and achievement that we forget the power that the current moment holds. 7 minutes might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of a busy day, but think about how much can change in those precious minutes. In 7 minutes, you can change your mindset, reflect on your actions, or take the first step towards a goal you've been procrastinating on. The truth is, time is a gift that we often don't appreciate enough. And yet, how we use even the smallest fragments of it can shape our lives in ways we can't even foresee. So, I challenge you today, right now. Take a deep breath and realize that you have this moment. And with this moment, you have the power to do something meaningful. It's easy to listen to wisdom and think it's something grand, unattainable, or abstract. But the real value lies in how we apply it. Here's a thought for you. Start small. In those 7 minutes, do something that aligns with your values. It could be reaching out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or perhaps taking a moment to appreciate your surroundings. Maybe it's setting aside time to meditate or to write down what you're grateful for. When you act on wisdom, it becomes something that goes beyond words. It transforms into action, and that action can ripple through your life and the lives of others. The wisdom of 7 minutes isn't about having all the answers. It's about starting with what you can do right here, right now. It's about taking that small step, no matter how insignificant it might seem at the time, knowing it could lead to something far greater. Think about the small actions in your life that have made a difference. They probably didn't require hours of effort, just moments of clarity, focus, and intention. 7 minutes of attention can lead to bigger things. A conversation with a friend might inspire them to take on a challenge they've been avoiding. A quick reflection on your goals could motivate you to pursue a dream that's been sitting on the back burner. It's in these moments of focused action that we create change. 7 minutes may not seem like much, but it's in those small intentional moments that we build habits, create relationships, and inspire transformation. So, the next time you have 7 minutes, remember that they aren't just 7 minutes. They are opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to grow, and to make a difference. In conclusion, we don't need to wait for grand moments to seek wisdom. Wisdom doesn't always come in long speeches or complex philosophies. Sometimes it comes in small, quiet moments. Time is one of those things we often don't fully grasp until it slips through our fingers. We talk about losing time, saving time, or wasting time. But in reality, time is the one thing that doesn't wait for anyone. The seconds, minutes, and hours that make up our day continue to pass by, whether we're ready for them or not. And the truth is, we can't get any of it back. Now, I know what you're thinking. 7 minutes? Is that really enough time to make a difference? And my answer to you is yes, it absolutely is. Time, in its essence, is not just about quantity, but about how we choose to use it. 7 minutes can seem like nothing when you're busy rushing through life. But if you stop and reflect on it, 7 minutes can be a moment of clarity, a turning point, or a tiny spark that ignites something bigger. Think about it. When was the last time you took 7 minutes just to pause, breathe, and think? Most of us are so caught up in the whirlwind of life, constantly running from one task to another, that we forget how powerful a small amount of time can be. Yet, every great achievement, every meaningful relationship, every important decision begins with moments like these. Moments when we stop, take stock, and choose how we want to move forward. I want to invite you to think of time as more than just a ticking clock. What if we viewed it as a series of opportunities? Opportunities to grow, to connect, and to change. 7 minutes can be enough to send a text to someone you care about, to meditate, to reflect on a goal, or even to breathe deeply and let go of stress. It's not about how much time we have, but how we choose to spend it. When we approach time with intention, we unlock its true power. There is a saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now. Time waits for no one, but the beauty of it is that it is always here, ready to be shaped by our actions. 7 minutes isn't too short to do something meaningful. It's just enough time to change your perspective, to choose to act, or to embrace stillness and clarity. Remember this. It's not about the length of time, but how deeply we engage with it. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. What makes the difference is how we decide to invest those minutes. Wisdom is often seen as something abstract, something we read about, hear in speeches, or discuss in deep conversations. But wisdom, in its truest form, is not just a collection of knowledge. It's the ability to apply what we know in meaningful, impactful ways. It's the bridge between thought and action. The real power of wisdom lies not in understanding something in theory, but in using that understanding to improve our lives, the lives of others, and the world around us. And that brings us to the question, how can we turn wisdom into action? How do we make sure that the insights we gain don't just remain as ideas floating in our minds, but instead translate into tangible steps? The answer lies in breaking down wisdom into small, manageable actions that we can carry out every day. Consider this, 7 minutes might not seem like much time to make a big change, but with actionable wisdom, even those fleeting moments can lead to meaningful progress. In those 7 minutes, you could choose to pause and ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now to move toward my goals? It might be as simple as sending an email, making a quick phone call, or setting a small task for the day that takes you one step closer to your dream. Actionable wisdom isn't about being overwhelmed by the complexity of a problem or waiting for the perfect moment to act. It's about understanding that every step counts, no matter how small. In fact, those small steps are often the most important ones. They build momentum. They create a ripple effect. Every small decision you make shapes your future in ways you might not immediately see. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've always wanted to write a book, but the idea of sitting down and completing a manuscript feels overwhelming. You might think, I don't have the time or the energy. But what if in the next 7 minutes, you took a different approach? What if you spend those minutes writing just one paragraph, brainstorming one idea, or researching one aspect of your story? That's actionable wisdom in its purest form. Taking a huge, seemingly impossible task and breaking it down into bite-sized, manageable steps. And before you know it, that small action has turned into a larger one, and you've made tangible progress on something that once felt out of reach. This concept applies to so many areas of life. Whether it's tackling a project at work, improving your health, or building a deeper connection with others, the wisdom to move forward is already within you. It's a matter of choosing to take the first step. Remember, the beauty of actionable wisdom is that it's not about having everything figured out. It's about knowing that you have the power to move, even in small ways, and that those movements will eventually lead to transformation. Small actions repeated consistently add up. Whether it's 7 minutes or 70, it's the intention behind those moments that matters most. So the next time you find yourself thinking about what you could do to improve your life or achieve a goal, don't wait for the right moment or for everything to be perfectly aligned. Just act. Start small, but start. Because actionable wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about taking what you know and making it work for you. Seven minutes is all it takes to get started. You may have heard the saying, a single drop of water can create ripples across an entire pond. The concept behind this is powerful. Small actions, seemingly insignificant at first, can create far-reaching effects. And when it comes to the ripple effect, it's not always about grand gestures or monumental decisions. It's about the subtle yet profound impact we can have on the world around us through the choices we make, however small they may seem. In the context of time, wisdom, and action, think about how just 7 minutes of your time can ripple outward and affect countless people, situations, and opportunities. These small moments are the seeds that can grow into something much larger, often in ways we don't even see. Let's start with one simple action. Imagine that in the next 7 minutes, you decide to send a message to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe it's just a quick check-in, or maybe you share something meaningful, a piece of advice, a compliment, or a memory that would make them smile. That single act might seem small, but it could mean the world to them. Your message could brighten their day, strengthen your connection, and remind them that they are not alone. This one small action could lead them to pay that kindness forward, starting a chain of goodwill that extends far beyond your initial effort. This is the power of the ripple effect. One small action can ignite a wave of positive change. We often underestimate the potential of these everyday interactions, but in truth, they can have an incredible impact. The world around you can shift because of the seemingly minor decisions you make. And you might never even realize the full scope of that impact. By simply taking the time to act with intention, you can set off a ripple that has the power to change someone's outlook, their behavior, or even their life. What makes the ripple effect so fascinating is that often we don't get to see the consequences of our actions right away. That friend you reached out to might not immediately tell you how much it meant, or how it sparked something inside them to reach out to someone else. But that doesn't diminish the impact. In fact, sometimes the most profound effects happen in ways that are invisible to us. Imagine, for example, that you take 7 minutes to read a short, inspiring article, and it gives you the motivation to start working on a personal project you've been putting off. That action might seem small at first, reading an article or making a decision to start something new. But what if that project leads you to meet someone who changes the course of your career? Or what if by sharing your project with others, you inspire someone else to take action in their own life? The ripple effect of that single 7-minute decision could eventually lead to opportunities, connections, or even life-changing experiences you never anticipated. The beauty of the ripple effect lies in its unpredictability. What we do today may have consequences that stretch far beyond our immediate vision. Even a small, seemingly insignificant act of kindness or wisdom could lead to a transformation in someone else's life, which in turn transforms the lives of others. The cycle continues and the impact grows. Finally, when you take a step back and think about how these small actions stack up, you begin to realize just how much power we each hold. Imagine if each one of us took just 7 minutes every day to make a positive impact, whether it's offering a word of encouragement, helping someone in need, or simply being present and attentive to the people around us. The collective power of these small actions, multiplied by millions of people, could change the fabric of society. When we act with intentionality, we don't just impact our immediate circles. Our actions send ripples into the world at large, creating waves of change that extend far beyond our own experience. Whether it's in our personal relationships, our communities, or even at a global level, the choices we make shape the world in ways we can't always measure. What might seem like a small act, a smile, a moment of patience, or a thoughtful decision, could lead to a series of events that change lives. It's a reminder that every interaction, no matter how fleeting, carries the potential for something far greater. Our actions, our wisdom, and the time we spend in these small, meaningful ways